Let's see. Hang on just a second. Yes, it looks like we're good there. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Mind Body Blend. This is our last class for the month of November. And those of you that are with me live, happy Thanksgiving. A little bit ahead of time. There's no class on Thursday of this week, and then we'll get started again in December. So we are working on strength and stretch. Strengthening today the calves, the shoulders, and the core. A lot of exercises are also going to use other muscle groups as well, but this is what we're going to zone in for a good focus. I have a chair I'm going to use for balance with one hand, or my wall next to me, as we're going to be doing a fair amount of toe raises up and down on the toes. You also have an option to use a yoga block underneath your feet to give you more range of motion going down underneath the block to give that little bit of stretch in the calves. The calves involve two separate muscle groups. So we see our calf here on the outside. This is called the gastrocnemius. There's a muscle we cannot see that runs underneath the gastrocnemius called the soleus. So when we work our gastrocnemius, our legs need to be straight. So a toe raise like this works the gastroc. If we work the soleus underneath the gastroc, our knees need to be bent. So if we're doing toe raises like this with our knees bent, we're working a little bit different muscle action in the lower leg area. So we're going to combine some of that. Let's warm up with a little bit of room ahead of you. And there's a movement, a series of movements in Pilates called offering. So I just want to demonstrate that to you. We'll take the hands, palms up like you're holding a tray, and you'll press the arms forward, open out, close back in, and then bring the elbows back to your side. We'll exhale as we reach forward, inhale to expand the chest, exhale to pull together, and inhale to draw back. Let's do one more. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. Now let's combine some leg work, but we'll bring the arms back into it in just a second. So we'll take our right foot and we'll step forward, strike the heel, and then step back and switch feet. Step forward, strike the heel, and I'm shifting my body weight. We're used to this movement from the Tai Chi we've done. And so this is going to start to add a little bit of element of warming up the lower body as well as some balance. Now bend those elbows, step forward right, bring the arms forward, open, close, and switch feet. Step forward, open, close, stepping back, switch feet. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. So I want to give you the option to continue this with no weights, just to keep warming up as you are. Or if you have something pretty light, I have some 3-pounders. You can pick those up and add the weights to this movement. So I'll give you a second to decide if you'd like to do that. And it's okay if you just want to continue to go with body weight. Okay, let's inhale to prepare. Exhale, step forward. Inhale and back in. Good. At your own pace with this. So when we come forward, we're working the fronts of the shoulders, and then we're taking that movement out to the side. This is called horizontal or horizontal abduction and adduction. So it's on the horizontal plane of our body. Good. Let's do 2 more on each side. And notice I have my elbows bent a fair amount, but you can bring them all the way to straight too if you want to add a little bit more challenge. So if we come all the way out and all the way out, that's going to be a little bit more challenging with that long lever work. Good. This is our last one. relax. Okay, we're going to keep one weight, the one in the right hand. And then come to a nice wide position. I'm just bending that elbow, keeping it in close to my waist. And we'll come into a small squat. I just want you to punch the arm forward and bring it in. So I'm still keeping it pretty lightweight. We're at the beginning of class, but if you want to go a little heavier, you can. And we're just reaching that arm out, keeping the shoulder blade down. Now reach it forward at any position that feels like you can hold it and stay right there. So our knees are bent. We're going to work the soleus by lifting the right heel, the left heel, the right heel, the left heel. Now you might be saying, well, why aren't you doing both arms at the same time? We certainly could, but I want to start putting work into my core. And when we work ourselves unbalanced, then our core has to fire. And maybe you take that arm out to the side a little bit here as you work. 8. And 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Come up. Good. Switch. We'll just press forward and bring it in. Good. Exhale as you reach. The longer you reach out, the more intensity you're going to feel in that muscle. So if you have some shoulder issues, maybe you're just coming right in here. And that's okay because you're still working the front of the shoulder. We're getting some bicep work also isometrically. So let's squat down, hold your squat. Any depth, push it out. Great. Both shoulders are down. Activate your abs. Let's hold it at any position and start to alternate the heel raises. And you can start working this in different angles of the shoulder. And what makes our arm rotate out like that? The rotator cuff. Yes. Keep the core strong, nice and stable. 8, 7, 6. Slightly tuck that tailbone. 3, 2, 1, and press up and release. Okay, shall we try both arms now? And if you need to make an adjustment with your workload, heavier or lighter, a couple little shoulder rolls. You can adjust the width of your squat, maybe take it wider or a little bit more narrow. Toes are turned out slightly. Let's sink it down, bend the elbows, and we're going to punch alternating arms. So reach right and left. Now, when we do this alternating work, it lends itself to twisting. So I want you to start to rotate. The weight still is going to go forward, so I don't want the weight to go across, but you're turning your body. So that puts the work in a little bit different spot for the shoulder. Good. Now, when we punch the right arm, lift the right heel up and switch up. Reach. You can keep your head forward or you can rotate your head with the movement. That's a little bit tougher on balance, so if you feel a little tippy that way, keep your head straight forward. Now keep the arms going, but lift the opposite heel. Ha. Good. Just challenges our brain a little differently. And we're twisting. And let's get 8 more. 7. Do you feel your quads too? Yes. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press up out of those legs. Release the arms down. Okay, let's set those weights down. So I want you to try some calf raises with your block to make sure it works. I'm just going to turn sideways and hold on to the back of my chair for a little bit of balance. So I'm stepping the balls of my feet up on top of the block. That way I can let my heels lower down more than normal if I were standing on the floor. And we're just going to raise up and down. Now I've noticed when I do this with a block that after a few repetitions, my feet start scooting that way a little bit. And then a couple of times I've had my block flip out from underneath me, and that's not good. So make sure your feet are forward enough on the block that it doesn't come out from underneath you. I want you to tighten your glutes here as well and your core. And if the block's not working, no problem. You can just do it flat on the floor. Now, ask yourself a question. Would you be able to do something with shoulder work and only hold on to one hand for balance? If that's okay with you, then let's step down and we'll grab the weight that we can push forward again. I'm going to go a little heavier this time now that the arms are warmed up. So I'm going to put that weight in the right hand, going to the block. Drop the heels down, bring this arm to bend at 90 degrees. As we punch it forward, we lift and lower, lift. Now you can also punch it out on a little bit of an angle to the side. So make this your own workout. Add a little bit of finesse to it. Let's just do 4 more. I'm really starting to feel the calves. 3, 2, and 1. Drop those heels down, give yourself a stretch, and switch your weight to the other hand. Now, if you can't do it with weight, still try to do this movement without any resistance because it's good for your shoulders. Okay, let's punch that left arm forward, raise up. 10, 9, 8. Oh, my calves are telling me you have not done this in a while. We're really feeling the burn. 5. I think a stretch is coming up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold those heels down, stretch. Very carefully step yourself off the block to stand on the floor, release the weight, and then we'll do a standing stretch for the calf by taking your right foot straight back, push into your heel, really stretch out that gastrocnemius. And I feel that low into the place, it's called the aponeurosis, where your Achilles tendon meets with that calf muscle. That's where I'm feeling it. Okay, let's switch legs. Press back, stretch. So we can work the calf with the feet parallel, laterally rotated, or medially rotated. So what I want to do is have you step onto the block with your toes turned out. Now, if you don't have enough room on the block, do it on the floor because I don't want you to lose your balance. The arm movement is going to be a side raise. So pick up the weight in the right hand, wherever you feel is a comfortable workload to do that side raise. And the elbow can be bent or you can take a nice long lever out. Step up onto the block with the toes out, the heels touching. Bring that arm by your side. So maybe we try one of these first. And then we add the lift, the lower. 9, 8. So this is our shoulder abduction. 7, 6, 5, 4. Nice tall posture. 2 and 1. Switch to the other hand. Try opening that arm out to the side once or twice and then add the calf raise. 10, 9, 7. It's interesting, I'm not feeling the burn as much in first position ballet. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Okay, let's step off the block carefully. Now we're going to take that right foot back and then put a little bend in your knee in that back leg. And you want to have your foot straight forward. I really get that stretch a little bit lower here in the calf. And it's stretching the soleus as well. Okay, let's switch that out. Step back with the left foot. Push the heel down and then bend the back knee. Ooh, that definitely changes the stretch. So while you're stretching, I'm going to demonstrate the next exercise. It's just a lift to the back with a straight arm. And we're going to be doing that with our calf raise with our toes turned in. So a pigeon-toed position. Again, with or without your block is fine. So let's come up. Toes, big toes touching, heels out. Drop your heels down. Take that right arm by your side and try one of these. Just lift it behind you. And then we'll add it into our calf raise for 10, 9, 8. Good job. 5 more. If you're using the block, really take advantage of that and drop your heels low. 3, 2, 1. And switch hands. Now I started scooting off my block a little bit, so I'm going to readjust. Toes in. Lift that left arm once just to start. And then we've got 10. Raise up. 1, 2. And I want you to get as much range of motion as you can in your ankle. Good. 5 more. Recheck your posture. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Carefully step down. Let's take a quick stretch, and I want you to pick which one you want to do. Either the leg stays straight or you add a little bend in your knee, or maybe combine both. Good, and then switch. You don't always have to stretch a muscle immediately after working it. It's just a little different technique we're using in today's class. So kind of notice how you enjoy that for your own workouts. All right, step in. Now I am going to do a single leg calf raise. For that, I need to have both of my hands on the chair for my balance. But if you want to add any of those other arm exercises or something different, you can do that if you don't need both hands on the chair. So I'm going to hold here both hands. I'm stepping up to the block with my right foot. I'm going to take my left foot and just tuck my foot behind the ankle of the right. Drop the heel down. We've got 10 reps. 1, 2, 3. I hope I can get 10. These are hard. 5. You can go back to both feet. 6, 7. Ooh, 2 more. And 1 more. And then step down with the left foot. Immediately step back with the right and stretch. Boy, I barely got those 10 in. Okay, if you did something with the weight, switch it to the other hand. We'll step up onto the block or just on the floor with the left foot. The right ankle wraps behind. Drop the heel to start and raise. 10, 9. Adjust your posture. Last 5. I feel the burn. 4, 3, oh boy, 2, and 1. Step down right, step back left, and stretch. We're almost done with calf work. I've got one more for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is take one hand weight, heavier workload. So I'm going to take my 8-pounder. Now, I know some of you probably will say this isn't a good exercise for your shoulders. We're going to have the option of doing an overhead press, but you've got a long way from point A to point B that you can work within. So you can come to the chin, you can come to the nose, you can come to the eyes, you can come to the forehead. So there's a lot of places you can work and still press above your head, or you can do no weight at all and reach the arms up. So take your legs pretty wide. We're going to squat and push any amount. Nice. Another option here as we add the calf raise to this is you might want to set your weight down and hold on to a chair or wall for balance. We're going to add a releve. So we come down, 1, 2, up on toes, 3, 4, we're looking for 10, 5, combining our shoulder work, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come up and relax that weight down to the floor. Great. Okay, we're going to come into some shoulder stretching. Take your legs nice and wide. We'll bend the right knee, bring the right arm across, stretch the shoulder, look to the right. Now you can hold this, or if you'd like to work the legs, straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Bend and hold. Take this same arm, bring it around the back of your body. If you can grab it with your left wrist, or your left hand grabs your right wrist, pull the arm to the side, look the other direction. You can stay here with a bent knee or straighten and bend. I know we're doing the same leg and it's starting to get tired. Good. Bend and hold. Bring your head back to the front, release the arms. Swap over to this side. Good, left arm comes across and we're going to look to the left, stretching the shoulder and the neck. We can stay or straighten and bend. So this is giving us a little bit of quad work. Again, not our main focus today, but that's okay. We need to work them. Bend and hold. Release that shoulder, wrap it behind the back. Now, if this is difficult, just put your hand on your hip. Or if you can grab that wrist, pull it over. Look. Let's see, which way are we looking? We just looked. We're looking this way. There we go. All right. And options, straighten and bend. 7, 6. Who says you can't stretch and strengthen at the same time, right? 3, 2, and 1. Bring the head back to center. Release the arm and come back up. Let's take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Either both hands behind your back or at your hips. Pull those elbows back. You can also grab your yoga strap, and we're just going to hold a double stretch here for the chest with half circles for the neck. To the right, down, to the left, and reverse, down, right, reverse. Last one. And head back to neutral. Great. Okay, we are moving down onto our mat. On our backs, we've got some shoulder work supine, and what we're going to do is offering. So remember, we did it at the beginning. We went forward, open, close, and in. If we flip this onto our back, it's going to make the movement quite different. So I think the weight I'm going to choose is my 5s. I think my 8s are going to be a little bit too heavy. But you can have all of your weights close by so that when you come down onto your back, you don't have to start searching for your weights. Okay, and usually when we do our supine movements, I give you the opportunity to bring your feet flat, your knees to table. But what I'm going to do today is I'd like you to come to the balls of your feet, and we're going to do a baby bridge from the balls of the feet. So come up and down. So what this does is it puts our calves in plantar flexion. If it's not working for you, you can have your feet flat. Okay, so now let's just practice our offering. So the arms go forward, open, close, and down. Forward, open, close. Now you can keep your bum down on the floor and just your heels up in plantar flexion, or we can lift up into our bridge as we push the arms up, open, close, and drop the hips down. Up, open, close. My right leg is shaking. My calf is saying, oh my goodness, what are we doing today? I might drop my heels down for a second. Come up, open, close, down. We have 4 more. Lift, open, close. I'm going to try my heels back up. 3 more. Oh, that muscle's starting to shake again. And down. 2 more. Shoulders and chest and triceps. 1 more. Up, open, close, and relax down. All right, so let's take a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to set my weights off to the side. Let's bring the right leg up, and we'll do some ankle pumps. You can hold behind your leg if you'd like, or just keep it lifted using your hip flexor and your core. And again, we're moving into the calf, but I also want you to think about the front of your shin activating as you do this little ankle pump. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now flex the ankle, bring that ankle across the left thigh, and we'll bring the hands behind the back of the head just to gently support the head as we come into some oblique work for the core. So we're going to lift straight up, rotate to the right, come back to the center, lower down, up, twist, center, down. Just 5 reps, so 3 more. And 2. Try to relax your neck. 1 more, up, rotate, center, and relax. Good. Hug your knees up towards your chest for just a moment to give yourself a slight hip stretch. A couple of breaths. All right, lower down and swap outside. So left leg is up and we flex and point. I'm going to move my chair out of the way here for what we got coming up pretty soon. Flex and point, flex and point. Really pull the toes down. Fire that front of the shin, tibialis anterior. 7, 6, 5. Those muscles are fatiguing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex and hold. Bring the ankle across the thigh. Hands come behind the back of the head to gently support. Now try not to pull your elbows towards each other. Keep them out to the side. And we lift, twist left, center, and down for 5. Up, rotate. 4, 3, 1 more to go. And relax and pull those knees in. Now, because of my hip replacements, I'm not going really vigorously with this. So I want you to be, if you've got that range of motion, you can really tuck those knees in toward you. I'm just keeping it small. Okay, our core is mostly responsible, number 1, for stabilizing our spine, right? When you think about crunches, let's do 5 with both feet on the floor. When we do crunches, if you think about this movement functionally, how many times during the day do we have to do this? Maybe when we get up out of bed in the morning. We don't do this movement functionally. Let's do 1 more. What we do with it is to stabilize our spine. Option with this is a light to medium hand weight. Bring it straight up. And then we're going to take that weight over the head, any amount, and pull it back up. So this is called the pullover. Just 1 more. Now notice when the arms go over the head, that's where the core has to really stabilize so that you're not arching your back. Let's bring the right knee up and then push your low back down into the floor. As the arms go above the head, reach that right leg out and bring it in. Good. Now if you need to leave out the weight, great. If you need to leave out the leg movement, whatever you need to do to make this doable for you. So 1 more option, as the arms come up, lift the head and shoulders, do a little crunch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Set that foot down. Relax the arms for a moment. Take a breath. Bring the weight back up. Left knee comes to table. Arms reach as the leg extends. Keep pressing that low back down toward the floor. Now, how do we breathe with this? If it's hard for your core, then I want you to exhale when the arms and the legs are away from each other. That's called the Pilates basic breath. Additional crunch if you desire for 5 more. The intermediate Pilates breath is to inhale when the arms and the legs are long. 3, 2, and 1. All right, feet down, relax the arms for a moment. So we have another set of these pullovers. If you need to adjust your workload, heavier or lighter, take your time to do that. Feet can remain on the floor. You can put your feet up on a chair or bring them both up to tabletop. Let's start with the arms. Just reach and come up. We're going to add alternating leg extensions. So right leg goes long and switch. So I've layered these with a lot of other options. So if this is bothering your low back, make sure you take another option that's going to work okay for you. Keep pressing the back down toward the mat, firing the core. 2 more on each leg. One more each leg. And then we relax for a moment. So the last option's pretty challenging. Both legs go long. So there's a lot of ways we can do that as an option. We can go back to alternating legs. We can leave our feet on the floor or our knees in table, or we can leave our knees bent. So maybe you just try one of these and see where you can go with both legs. Maybe you can do them if they're up high toward the ceiling. Okay, we've got 8 reps. Your choice. 1, 2, pain-free range of motion. 3, 4, really zip up the abs. 3 more. 6, 7, and 8. Oh, I could have added the optional crunch on that, couldn't I? Oh, that's okay. Okay, hug your knees to your chest. Stretch out your low back, maybe a couple little sways from side to side or circles with your knees. Just check in. How you doing? Okay, we've got some oblique rotations here to work the core. So the easiest way to do this is your feet on the mat, your elbows into the floor, and we just drop the knees from side to side like windshield wipers. So this is great. If you want to do it right here, you're working a little bit less strength, but you're getting that range of motion and a nice easy stretch. You want to take it up a level. Our knees come up to tabletop, and we drop our knees from side to side, any amount, any speed that works good for you. Now, to make it harder from here, we just have to lengthen the lever so our legs come straighter as we go from side to side. So let's see, I've got my clock across from me. Let's do 60 seconds, your choice, on this exercise. So ideally, we want to leave our shoulder blades on the mat. So I don't want to let the shoulder blades come up. So you're keeping a good range of motion to allow for that. A nice dynamic twist. Good. We're about halfway. I'm going to bring my feet back down and finish out here. And we've got 20 seconds. Good job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Great. Okay, we are going to do rotator cuff work from a side lying position. So let's roll over onto one side. And I'm going to actually get my blanket here to support my hip with a little cushioning. That incision still doesn't like that really very well. Okay, so we're going to be laying on the side with the knees stacked, about 90-degree bend in the knee. Let's see, I think I'm going to do my 3s for this. So we have our rotator cuff movement. What we want to think about is staying in a pain-free range of motion. If you can't do it with weight, then I just want you to do this movement without any, because it's good therapeutic activity for your shoulder, rotator cuff, and shoulder girdle. Then I'm going to give you the option to add our clamshell, opening and closing, or a leg raise, hip abduction. So you choose, or maybe mix and match, and let's get 10, 9, good, slow, controlled. I'm starting to feel that rotator cuff. 5 more. I'm going to do some clams for the last 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Excellent. Shake that arm out. And we'll do a big arm circle up and around. Forward, up, and around. Good. Reverse and go the other way. Back, up, and around. 1 more. Great. And relax. Press yourself to the other side. Starting with the knees stacked. And then there's different positions. You can be up on your elbow here. You can be laying all the way down. You can support your head, or you can just relax it on your bicep. And let's start with our rotator cuff. Just to make sure your workload is okay for this muscle group or for this arm. And for me, 3 pounds is plenty. So we can add either clam or we can add hip abduction. So your choice. We've got 10 reps to go. 1, 2. And if it's getting too tired, I'd rather you set the weight down and keep going without any weight rather than stopping altogether. I'm going to finish up with clams. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release the weight. And we've got a circle. Make it as big as you can, nice and slow. Got a little text. Want to make sure it's not from one of you guys. Nope. And then reverse. 3, and 2, and 1. Now, when we usually do arm circles, we're standing up, right? Would you say? I just wonder if you felt that this was different doing an arm circle laying on your side, because it should have felt a little different because the muscles are activated a little differently when gravity's in a different spot. Okay, we need a light hand weight, bird dog, hands and knees. Let's see, I'm going to turn this way because we're doing the right side first. Okay, get yourself nice and comfortable from all 4s. If you can't come on your knees, then you're going to go and put your hands on a chair and stand up on your feet and do hands and feet. Okay, so I want you to take the weight, bring it in front of you, and then we'll take our right leg back and set it down, our left leg back, and set it down. So we'll just start with the legs. This is core work, stabilization of the spine. Now when your right leg goes back, you lift your left arm. Then you come down and switch, left leg, right arm. So I know you're dying to know why that weight is right there. For sure. Because the next time your left leg goes back, your right hand's going to pick up the weight and bring it forward and then set it back down onto the floor. And try to get it back to the middle This is giving you kind of a diagonal shoulder action because you're coming right from the center and extending it out a little bit to the side. And it's okay not to do the weight, or if you'd like to, just try to pick the weight up off the floor and keep your elbow bent and not do the shoulder movement. It's more of a bicep action. 2 more on each side. Head is nice and neutral. 1 more each side. Then relax and take a little child's pose or any other stretch that might feel good for your body. And then we have 1 more set of bird dog on each side with a rear shoulder raise. So as we come up to the hands and knees, take that weight in your right hand. You're going to hold it by your side and just lift it straight back. Your option is to have your left leg up off the floor. So we're in our bird dog and we have 10, 9. Try to keep your pelvis squared so you're not leaning over to the right. Scoop your abs up. 3, 2, and 1, and set that weight down. Good. All right, let's swap it to the left hand. Do a couple of the raises back. Option to bring your right leg back. And we have 10. So a couple years ago, we did this with some arm circles, which was quite challenging. We lift the arm and then we circled it around. So you can do anything that you'd like here to make this more challenging. 3 more. 2, and 1, and relax it down. Great job. Let's take 1 more of our child's pose stretches. This is a great stretch for the lats and the mid back. Okay, we're coming all the way down to the tummy. And I'm going to move that blanket out of the way to work the spinal extensors of the back. So all the way down. Now, if for some reason laying on your stomach isn't working, you can also do this like spinal balance, but come into Superman position. So I'm reaching my arms out long above my head, and then I'm going to lift my right leg up and down and the left leg up. So your knee can bend a little bit when you lift, but this isn't coming from the knee. So we're not bending really big. It's coming from the butt. So we want to lift it up from the glute. Then you can add the opposite arm. If the shoulders don't allow for this, that's okay. You can also bend your arms in here, and you can lift an opposite hand up and make your Superman doable for you. We have 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax your head. You can make a pillow for your forehead by stacking your hands. And breathe. Now we're going to keep this position with the hands stacked, the forehead on the hands, and I want you to lift your right elbow off the floor so it's going to make your body rotate. We'll do 8 of them on the right side. 7, 6. This is that posterior oblique and spinal extensors, part of our core. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause. 8 the other direction. Left elbow lifts. 1. Try to keep your legs active. 2. Squeeze your glutes a little bit. 4. Ooh, this body's getting tired. 6, 7, and 8. Relax. Okay, last exercise. Both arms, both legs lift at the same time. We come up. 1, 2, 3. You can keep your head supported. 4, 5. 3 more. 6, 7, and 8. Great. Press yourself back up to hands and knees. You can take child's pose, cat stretch, or a downward dog. I think I'm going to try that. Nice thing about the down dog is we get one more stretch for our calves. We did a lot of work there at the beginning of class. And then whatever way works best for you, I want you to transition to coming up back onto your feet. So I'm going to walk my feet in or my hands in and roll up. Okay, there's one more core muscle group that we're going to focus on, and that's this big muscle group in the lower back called the QL. So we can do this with or without weight. I'm going to add one weight in the right hand, and I'm going to use my heavy one. So this is an 8-pounder. So we're going to side bend to the right and then pull up. So to make this a little bit more challenging, we can add this arm reaching over. That gives us more of a stretch on the left side and more workload on the right. 6, 5, 4. Don't want you to feel any strain in your back, so this can be lightweight or no weight. 2 and 1. Coming up. Good. Switch to the left side. We'll try a couple of them with the arm down. So this is one way we can combine stretching and strengthening. So here we're stretching the right side QL as we're here, and then we're strengthening it as we pull up. Good. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Set that weight down.